video, we're going to get a little bit more in depth with Google Sheets. We're going to look at sorting and filtering data. Here I have a template of, I'm just pretending like I'm taking inventory of how much each staff member is spending each month in their budget. And I just have a few staff members and a few months here, just so we can see what this looks like. The first thing I want to talk about is sorting your data. So that means kind of reorganizing it based on different conditions. I'm going to pretend like I'm someone who really likes things in alphabetical order. So I'm going to sort this data and keep the teachers in alphabetical order. Notice I have a column separate of their first name of their last name. I do like to do this with data, with students, with teachers, anything with names in it, because it helps you when you're sorting and picking out specific columns to sort it by. So to select all of the data, because that's what I want to sort, I'm going to go to this top corner cell or that top box there. And as you can see, when I click on it, it selects all of it so that I can make sure I'm moving it and sorting it all together. Because when I want it in alphabetical order, so I'm going to want Liz Brown first, but I want all of her data to move with her up here to the top. So let's look at how we do that. After it's selected, I'm going to go to the data column. And although we have some sorting options here, I like to go to sort range because it will give me all of my details. The first thing that is very important is that you click here that data has a header row, because I want the actual headers up here to move with it. And so that's just indicating, yes, it does. And I'm going to tell it, I'm going to sort it by the staff's last name. So now it lets me have an option, and it has all of my columns here. I want it sorted by the staff last name, and I want all the other data to be pulled with it. A to Z order would mean alphabetical order, and then opposite Z to A. If you want to think about numbers, if you wanted values, A to Z would be from 0 to whatever top value, and then this would also be opposite. So then the highest or the greatest to the least. So think about it in that order. Also, when you hover over it, it gives you that clue as well. And so I just want one way to sort it. You can add another way after that if you would like by clicking that button. So I'm making sure it has a header row. I'm making sure it's by staff last name, and I want an alphabetical A to Z order, and I'm going to say sort. And you'll notice as soon as I click that, it moved the names as well as all of their information or how much they spent each month with it. So I can click off of it. So that is sorting data. So sorting allows you to organize your data in a new way without having to go back and retype it all in. Very helpful. The next thing I'd like to show you that gets a little bit more complicated is filtering data. When you filter and use that function, anyone with access to this spreadsheet will now see the new filter. So it kind of keeps your data, what you have, but then layers on top of it a new way to look at it so that you're not creating a ton of spreadsheets about the same data for different people. Let's pretend like the example that we are going to use is maybe you're a bookkeeper and the principal wants to know who is spending more than a certain amount each month. Yes, you could go ahead and make a copy of this sheet and make it just specific for that. But why do that when you can just add a filter and only share that filtered information with your principal, but not change your data? And so let's look at how we do this. So I'm going to select the data, and then I'm going to go to data again, but this time I want a filter view. So I'm going to create a filter. So when I create that filter, I'm going to create a new one. There we go. Create a new filter view. There we go. And so I'm going to call this maybe he wants to know he or she wants spending more than staff. Or maybe it's over budget. Over monthly budget by, let's say, he doesn't really want them spending more than $30 a month. And so I can add that in, more than $30. So I'm labeling it so he or she knows what they're looking at. So greater than $30. And so now this is where I need to come down here, and you'll notice now that I have that filter on. Also, that same little filter icon is down here. So I want to filter, and maybe the month is in October. So a lot of people would be over budget, wouldn't they? Over $30. Let's make that over 40 so you can see that it doesn't include all people. There we go. And so when I go down to October, if I come to this little icon, that was that filter icon that I used earlier, and I'm going to say filter by values. So you can do it by a color if they're color coded, by condition, or here. And so when I click filter by values, oh, sorry, no, I'm actually going to do condition because I want more than or less than. And so as you can see all these options, I'm going to say if it's greater than, and I think I said $40, that's the value, and say okay. Now notice when I do this, look, only 2 people are showing now because in October, only Liz Brown and Mr. Jim Duncan spent more than $40. And so you'll also notice up here in the link now, it has filter and then it has a number. And so now all I have to do is share this link with my principal, and the only thing he or she will see is the data of the people who spent more than that amount within the filter. And so that's an easy way to keep your same existing sheet without having to make another copy. So in this video, we've looked at 2 things. We've looked at sorting the data. Oh, and also I could show you how to turn that off. So when you're finished with it, all you have to do, let me go off of it, is turn it off. So if you go back to, where was it? Data, filter views, and you can say none, and it'll go back to your normal data for you. So in this video, we've looked at a few things. We've looked at first sorting your data. So we talked about going and selecting the data and going to data, and we've gone to sort range and sorted it in alphabetical order. We've also looked at filters. So filters, remember, are also under data, and we can go to filter views and create a new one and turn those on and off. Thank you so much for watching.